And welcome back, folks, to another Hump Day Real Estate with Kendall in the DMV. I apologize about last week, but I do thank landlord Bob for filling in, and he didn't even. I mean, oh boy, supposed to have been helping that guy sell his property that he's tired of, and he ended up having to do a Hump Day Real Estate with Kendall for me. So I appreciate landlord Bob for stepping in. I know he didn't know what the crap was going on, but he made it through it. I think he did a better job than I do. So thanks again, landlord Bob, for stepping in. We appreciate you much for taking charge when we need you. Although that's not a normal thing to have a guest and client actually doing a show for you. But I hope you folks are having a good week so far. Hump Day, and we're going to get over the hump. Where am I? Where am I? Oh, this week, like the way this is coming up. Renting versus buying. Renting versus buying a home. When deciding between buying a home or renting, think about these three important factors. So, buying a home means avoiding rising rents. Buying a home means avoiding rising rents. Some of you may not understand that. Some of you may look at the fact that renting is convenience because you want to call your landlord and get things repaired, etc. But I want most of you, if you see this live or if you connect with me or you see the video somewhere else, would you put in a comment how many times you paid your rent and something has not gotten fixed in a timely manner or at all. So sometimes the convenience is questionable. Also, and I'm beating at myself here because I'm also a landlord. So I'm guilty of not responding quickly sometimes. So, but when you buy, what happens with a fixed rate mortgage? Your monthly payment is locked in the length of your home loan. So let me explain that a little bit, because I think some people get it confused because the mortgage industry, when you close on a property, the lender combines already put an escrow component in place to pay the home insurance and your taxes. And so some folks say that we're not being truthful when we say the mortgage payment is fixed and it doesn't change. It's actually 100% true. It's just that and for your safety, they combined the escrow payment of the taxes and your insurance, because I believe what happened throughout the years when they gave the responsibility to the homeowner first thing the homeowner decided not to pay is the taxes and insurance. What happened? A lot of you guys don't know this, but taxes supersede the mortgage. And so if there's a delinquency in the taxes, that's how homes are being sold in tax lien sales that have mortgages, because the tax lien supersedes the mortgage. So that means that that lender is out of that note that he created for you to put you in that home. If you don't pay your taxes and somebody comes and buy the taxes and they foreclose, well, they get the house for taxes, not for what you owe on the loan. So that's why the lender put it together in escrow, and that's what you all believe that is your mortgage payment. Your mortgage payment is one thing, and your escrow payment is another. You've just been used to paying those all at one time. Got it? So homeowners own a tangible and valuable asset. The average U.S. homeowner now has about $290,000 in equity per core logic. So when you rent, you won't get any return on your investment as you pay your rent monthly. So in other words, if you pay $1,000 a month for 12 months for 5 years, you paid out about $60,000. It does nothing for you except for the fact that you had money go down the toilet. But when you buy as home prices rise and you pay down your home loan, you build equity. That's where the equity comes from. So you have home appreciation. And then when you pay your principal balance down, that's where the appreciation comes from. Now, what you don't talk about, or what you don't ask, is why does a landlord bother to deal with all these shady tenants who will decide when they won't pay? Because of those two factors. What's happening is you're helping pay the landlord's principal balance down. Appreciation comes in and goes up. That landlord builds wealth and you don't. Your money goes down the drain. You're helping somebody else build wealth. Now, there's nothing wrong with trying to help people build wealth as long as you're help building wealth yourself. And 9 times out of 10, you're not. I don't care if you're making a bunch of money on in your job and you got business and you're making buku dollars. If you have no real estate, and there's other vehicles out there, but there's not there's nothing stronger than real estate, where folks are putting some of their money and using it as a bank, and with the when the appreciation sets in, they end up having equity on paper that is greater than any percentage of rent income that you could have coming in every month. Owning your home grows your wealth over time. This is what I was just mentioning. Why I can't get this? Let's see. There we go. So monthly mortgage payment is often considered a forced savings account that helps homeowners build a net worth about 40 times higher than that of a renter. See that? 40 times higher than you, the renter. Lawrence Young, chief economist of NAR, National Association of Realtors, when you rent, when the cost of renting goes up, it's more difficult to save money for a down payment to buy a home. So when all the expenses go up, it's harder to save. All you have is bills. When you buy, as you build equity through the years, you give your net worth a big boost. So you give your net worth a big boost. If your situation changes and you need to buy another home, if you sell that home or use the equity from that home, you can put a down payment, larger down payment on the new home. That's why getting into real estate is the thing. It's it's they can say it's not for everybody, but it's for most folks who want to build wealth and who are thinking about buying a bigger home. A lot of folks come to me now and they say, "Oh, I want to buy." They would try to buy it close to the house that they want now. No, get into a house and like magic, 5 years from now, you'll have enough equity in your home and you keep the home up and then you go sell it to somebody else and you get to pull that equity out. And now you take that money and put it down on your new home. So if you're ready to enjoy the advantage of owning a home, let's connect. Let's discuss all of your options. Let's discuss all of your options. So when deciding between buying a home or renting, think about these three important factors. Okay. Keep these factors in mind. Keep these factors in mind. So I got another one. I think I hold that. So we're not going to worry about that. Okay. So that's renting versus buying per se. Now let's talk about what everybody is, which is making the real estate pretty tough for a lot of people. Higher mortgage rates here to stay. Now, before I read any of this, I'm going to give my opinion. I believe they are. I believe we're right now looking at the new norm. And hear me out. So the reason I believe this is, see, everybody's looking at the lower interest rates, but you don't do your homework. And if you did your homework, you would understand why the interest rates have been low for so long. The interest rates have been low for so long. Why? Because of what happened during the recession of 2008. The real estate market, because of low inventory since then, has never bounced back. It didn't spike up crazy until the pandemic, which caused more damage than it did even anything out. And so that's why we're dealing with what's happening now, because folks weren't buying real estate like crazy. A lot of people might have wanted to buy real estate because the interest rates were still pretty low. But interest rates started gearing towards 6% around 2018 and 2019. And so folks didn't pay attention to was then the pandemic came in and all these people said, well, I need to, I can't live in this house. This house is too small now that we're all home, etc. So everybody ran out and trying to buy a house. The problem was there still was no houses. So from 2009 all the way up to 2019, the inventory was shot. And so it created a demand, which made the real estate market look like it was the best thing since sliced bread, because now people are buying houses and they come up with cash from wherever they were getting it from and say, look, I got to buy a house. I'll pay $30,000 over. With a bunch of people doing that. Depending on where you live, there was people coming from out of state that sold their houses. Like think about folks in California who, the pandemic, they couldn't do, a lot of changes were made for them. They couldn't work, etc. Those folks said, look, I sell my $1.5 million house and I can come to Maryland and buy the same house for $600,000, $800,000. And so when they sold and they came, they were able to pay cash and go over $100,000, $50,000 over what everybody else was offering. So that's where a lot of that stuff came from. So I believe rates are going to stay high. Maybe not stay at 8%, Maybe we'll do this year, maybe half of next year at 8, and maybe go back down to 7. But I don't think rates are going to go under 7%. I think that's the new norm for a while. Maybe 6. Let's say 6.5. I think it's going to be the new norm. I think that's going to be a new norm. So we'll go back here a year from now, and we'll check this video out and see was Kendall correct. So a high mortgage rates here to stay. Mortgage rates have been back on the rise recently, and that's getting a lot of attention from the press. If you've been following the headlines, you may have seen rates recently reach their highest level in over decades. And so there is a chart here showing October, so 30th fixed rate January 2000, the interest rate was 8.64%. Today, the interest rate in October 1 is 7.67%. That can feel like a little bit of a gut punch if you're thinking about making a move. If you're wondering whether or not you should delay your plans, here's what you really need to know. So, how higher mortgage rates impact you? There's no denying mortgage rates are higher now than they were in recent years. And when rates are up, that affects overall home affordability. Works like this. The higher the rate, the more expensive it is to borrow money when you buy a home. That's because as rates trend up, your monthly mortgage payment for your future home loan also increases. Urban Institute explains how this is impacting buyers and sellers right now. When mortgage rates go up, monthly housing payments on new purchases also increase. Potential buyers' increased monthly payments can reduce affordable homes. Additional higher interest rates mean fewer homes on the market, as existing homeowners have an incentive to hold on to their home to keep their low interest rate. Basically, some people are deciding to put their plans on hold because of where mortgage rates are right now. But what you want to know is is that a good strategy? Where will mortgage rates go from here? If you're eager for mortgage rates to drop, you're not alone. A lot of people are waiting for that to happen. But here's the thing, no one knows when it will. Even the experts can't say with certainty what's going to happen next. Forecasts project rates will fall in the months ahead, but what's the latest data says is that the rates have been climbing lately. This disconnect shows just how tricky mortgage rates are to project. Best advice for your move is this: don't try to control what you can't control. This includes trying to time the market or guess what the future holds for mortgage rate. As CBS News states, if you're in the market for a new home, experts typically recommend focusing your search on the right home purchase, not the interest rate environment. Let's say that again. If you're in the market for a new home, experts typically recommend focusing your search on the right home purchase, not the interest rate environment. So instead of working on building a team of skilled professionals, and so I said that with mixed up. Instead, work on building a team of skilled professionals, including a trusted lender and real estate agent who can explain what's happening in the market and what it means for you. If you need to move because you're changing jobs, want to be closer to family, or are in the middle of another big life change, the right team can help you achieve your goal. Folks, we've been saying pretty much the same thing all year long. We all have different needs and once in life to the reason why we're doing whatever it is that we're doing. But here's the thing, and I've had clients come to me, well, I'm not buying a rental property until interest rates go down. That's not how you buy real estate, especially as an investor. Investors buy deals that make sense for investing. Don't buy because the interest rates are too high or too low. Most investors also pay the highest. Investors always paid higher in interest rate. Investors pay up to 18% interest on the private funding that they use to buy what we consider an ugly house. And what investors do is we don't buy at the top of the market. So in other words, what's normally on the MLS or somebody with a house that's already fixed up, investors normally don't pay that money. We're looking for the ugly houses. So if you want to be an investor, you want to invest properly. And the proper way to do that is buy ugly houses, fix them up. You end up buying, you create sweat equity. You go in the deal with equity. You buy the money. That's what investors do. Now, I'm not saying a home buyer can't do the same thing, because a home buyer can surely do the same thing. And one of the wavy ways of millennials and some of the younger folks to really start to look into, you guys are not really that concerned about buying a big home, and most of you buying a big home and having all this lavish stuff going on. But what you are concerned about is what is buying and what it's going to cost you, or if you go out into the rent world, what that costs you. Let's talk about how you can save yourself and build wealth save your money and build wealth at the same time. What if you could buy a 3-4 unit apartment building, live out in one unit pays for your mortgage, or 2 units pay for your mortgage, whichever way, and then 1 unit in turns put money back in your pocket. So now you're living rent-free. Monthly income coming in every month, pay the bills, pay for maintenance and upkeep, and you live rent-free. And what if I tell you there's 100% financing option out there for you to do it? And I'm not talking about just for the first thing, folks, because we're in the DMV, they say, well, he might only be talking about Baltimore. No, I'm talking about even up to DC, $700-800 million multi-unit can be purchased with 100% financing. Something to think about. Folks in DC are paying $1,200 or so for an apartment that's probably less than 300 square feet. Well, you can change the narrative and pay that, and maybe or nothing at all, and you could probably make good money to be able to do it, and you can get the whole 4 units and rent the other 3 out and have a whole apartment to yourself that you're paying little to nothing for, and you're building wealth while you're doing it. So, folks, as always, if you need any real estate information, please reach out to me, comment. You hit like button if you care to show a little love. If you know somebody that can use some of this information, please share it. Let's get folks the information. And if you want to hear any of the information that we share, the real estate news that we bring forth, hit that subscribe button. You'll get notification every time we come on with a video with some information that you might be interested in. I want to thank you again for taking the time to check us out. But this is Hump Day Real Estate with Kendall and the DMV, and it's another Wednesday Hump Day, and we're signing off. Enjoy the rest of your week. Talk to you soon. God bless.